I got this email the other day talking about like, oh, it's from the Seoul Metropolitan Government talking about how they're having like a Seoul Influencer Awards. And apparently there were like a total of 100 candidates that were selected based on recommendations from Seoul officials and experts, and that I was one of the contestants, or one of the nominations, sorry. And when I read this, I was like, oh my God, finally, I'm being recognized. And then they sent me the content that was to be used for candidate registration. Girl, they sent me this like old vlog of when I went to my friend Jeremy's house. I was like, is that the video that represents the contributions I've had to K-beauty and to Korea? But the reason I bring that up is because when I clicked the video, my makeup was eating back then. What the fuck happened? Because I think I fell too far into the, oh, let's keep it natural. And I mean, my makeup has never been that crazy. But I don't know, I like the way a lot of makeup looks like on me. Like that type of like doyenne style makeup. These days I really just be wearing blush and a lip. So I was like, let's do makeup today. And I mean, it's still not gonna be that crazy. But also what I wanted to do was, I know I talk a lot about like K-beauty and cbeauty and basically stuff that you have to order online, right? But a lot of K-beauty brands recently went into Ulta. So I was like, oh, let me do a bunch of products that you can easily get on either Amazon, Ulta, or drugstore, I guess. Just to show you that you can also get the cbeauty, K-beauty, whatever look. You don't have to use Asian beauty products. What really matters is just finding the right, you know, colors, pigmentations, and stuff that you like and that suits you. So first, I'm gonna use this TIRTIR ceramic cream for my skin. This is like one of my favorite. I don't feel like I ever talk about this, but it's one of my favorite moisturizers. I talk a lot about toners and like lotions and shit, but cream-wise, this is probably one of the best. I knew from the name, ceramic. I don't know, for me, it gave me the image of like what I feel like it would do to my skin, and it does that. It's one of those really rich, but not like oily. You know what I mean? Because usually for people with dehydrated skin, it's not so much that you need like moisturizers and heavy lotions, because it's more so like you're dry on the inside. But this is the perfect type of cream moisturizer to use for locking in any toners or whatever that you used first and keeping it in without having to put like this heavy oily layer on top. It's very 쫀쫀해. Next up is color corrector. I always use the same one. This one I've been using the most lately, my Malo Wilts concealer. But one that I actually showed on the channel many times already, but I think is one of my favorites still, is the LA Girl Pro-Conceal. This shit has been, if you've been on beauty YouTube for a long time, this should be no fucking surprise to you. This shit is really, really good. I really fucking hate this goddamn applicator though. It's so annoying. Like, I mean, I don't mind the idea of like, oh, you know, a brush on thing directly attached to the makeup product itself, but when you squeeze it out, how much comes out never is like accurate. The thing I like about LA Girl Pro, because with the correctors, is that there's so many shades of corrector. I'm using peach corrector, but there's deeper ones. There's a really pale one. Oh, you see how quickly that shit covers up, and it's so affordable. Whenever I'm in the States, I go crazy at H-E-B, which is like a Texas supermarket, like a grocery store. Now for foundation, of course, I'm going to use the TIRTIR one, but I do actually have a few suggestions if you feel like, because I think this is like $25 from what I remember, which for drugstore, it's not like drugstore pricing, to be honest. My favorite one, which I've shown many times, is of course the Revlon Colorstay. If you're really neutral or more cool tone leaning, this whole range is gonna be good because the colors tend to be more neutral. So that's why I really like this. Also, sweat proof, transfer proof, all that shit. And it's more on the affordable side, I think. This is the combination oily one, but they do have a combination dry one. And either or, they're both more on the thick side. I have these two other suggestions of foundation, but they're more on the thin side. And the thing with more thin foundations is that if you have more textured skin like me that has like pitted scarring and you have bumps in your skin, or it's not baby butt smooth, I actually prefer a thicker foundation, because the thing is you can apply a thicker foundation more thinly. When you blend it out, it looks smoother, I feel like, and it's more blurring. These thinner foundations are nice if you have really smooth skin. Because I feel like with the thinner foundation, especially on dry or dehydrated skin, it can look thin and cracked and cakey very quickly. So the thicker formulations, I do think a slightly thicker formula of foundation on a more textured skin looks a little bit better and feels a little bit better. And by thick, I don't mean heavy. By thick, I mean just like a slightly more, it just feels more moisturizing, I guess, to me. Whereas these ones, I do like these two. This one I bought because a subscriber had it in her makeup pouch, and she showed it to me. She's like, oh, I really like this. It's the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour skin tint. And I've tried this before and I actually really like it. It says skin tint, but I find it really full coverage. One thing I noticed though is that it does get shiny throughout the day, which actually, because in my head, when my oil starts to come out and my base starts to look shiny, that means it's gonna start breaking down my foundation. But the thing is with this, my skin was shiny, but my base makeup looked like it was intact. If you like a glowy look, this is not gonna look glowy at first, but throughout the day it becomes glowy. If you like that look, I think you'll like this one. And then there's also the Maybelline Superstay Lumi-Matte, which originally was only Asia exclusive, but recently, or not recently, like a few months ago, entered the US market. This one, if you compare it to this one, it's just more of a full-on foundation. It's like semi-matte for Lumi-Matte, right? It's supposed to be matte, but has a little bit of a natural glow to it. So I'd say this looks more natural than that one, but yeah, it's also long wearing. And the only thing is, you gotta make sure you hydrate your skin well. That should be the case for any makeup application, but especially with these because they're more long wearing foundations. And yes, they're long wearing, but if your skin is dry or dehydrated, your skin is gonna wanna suck that shit up because it will break down throughout the day because your skin is dry. 근데 in celebration of kbeauty hitting the Ulta, we're gonna use TIRTIR. Now, my only suggestion with this, I'm sure we've seen all the reviews and shit, it does oxidize. Oh, I also added this little, they sell these on Coupon. It's like a little sticker you put on here to keep this bacteria-free. I don't fucking know. With this, I'd suggest going one shade lighter than you would think. Because now that it's in stores, you can actually test them. I would swatch here. If you have like light to tan skin, I would swatch here to get the right shade. If you have deeper skin, I would actually match around the eye area because for deeper skin, you have the discoloration around the mouth, but if you try to match to that, your face will look very dark, which is fine if you use like a highlighting concealer afterwards, but if you want to just stick with the one cushion, I'd suggest at least matching to this part of the skin here, and then applying it in the way I tend to do, like sort of center of the face. But if you're doing full glam, like the base concealer, then I guess you could match here if you want. Anyway, yes, because of the oxidation, you do have to go a little bit lighter. So I'm actually using number 21 and Ivory. As we all know, the V-zone here, that thick part of the skin here. This red cushion, I believe they only have the red cushion right now in Ulta, but this one is a semi-matte foundation. So I really feel like it kind of matches whatever your skincare that you did. If you do more hydrating skincare, it's gonna look more shiny by the end of the day, but if you do more things like watery based stuff like toners or like water gel creams and stuff, I think it should be more matte throughout the day. You gotta be careful, girl. This shit is full coverage, so you gotta 양쳐줘. You have to 양쳐줘. I've been seeing these influencers from the West trying out this TIRTIR foundation, but they be caking that shit on, which, you know, is very in line with the American, actually no, I was gonna say, it's very in line with Western makeup, but aren't they all about clean girl lately? Still, I don't know. Now, it looks like it might be a little bit too light for me, but it's gonna deepen a little bit throughout the video, and in general, my face is a little bit, because of all my redness and my scarring here, it kind of tones down the color of my face. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, it uses really light foundation, but in real life, especially, also because of these lights. With the SPF, I think this has SPF in it. Yeah, SPF 40 PA double plus. Especially with base makeup that has SPF in it. If you're gonna be sitting in front of lights here, it might look a little bit lighter because of the light, but if you kind of just look at like this, it pretty much matches my skin. Also, I know in the West, they love a good primer. To be honest, I feel like primer fucks up a lot of people's base makeup, if I'm completely honest. So with this one, especially in terms of pore filling, this is really good. It really smooths out the skin here. Hold on, my coffee's here. At Mega Coffee, I'm sure you've seen your favorite idols with this shit. Very cheap, large Americanos. But they also sell this spicy chicken sandwich, girl. I've been eating this shit. It's so delicious. They put some crack in this shit because it looks, girl, it's giving hella processed, like microwavable food, but I don't give a fuck. Even based on the visual, does that not look hella just frozen food put in the microwave? Okay, sorry. Also, make sure you store this flat on like this, because I store my cushions kind of like on the side, like this, because I'm stacking them together. But the formula is kind of runny, so it all pools on one side of the sponge. So you have to be careful. You see how much came out? So make sure you 양쳐줘. I really hope they bring the liquid foundation version to Ulta soon, because that's like my favorite. On the forehead, try to keep it on just the center of the forehead. At least, I mean, most of the product. A lot of people tend to have darker foreheads because the sun hits the forehead first, but you still want to make some kind of gradation. If you put heavy full coverage all the way up to the hairline, it looks like a mask. So start here, and even if you have to match the tone, just kind of blend upwards so that there's little product at the hairline. And then whatever's left, you can put on your eyelid. You really don't want to be putting a shit ton of this on your eyelid. I notice a lot of people, when they're, especially beginners of makeup, they tend to start here because they want to cover their dark circles first, but that's like the thinnest area of the skin, right? And so if you start with the most product here, it looks cakey immediately. Try to be mindful about your application. Next, I'm gonna use their concealer. There's a lot of really good concealer. I love the, I was gonna say e.l.f, but recently they decided to pull a dumb one, and you can look it up on TikTok, their controversy, but I did like their camel concealer, but I also really like the Maybelline, the Ivory one. It's so good. Super great. It's not super full coverage, but if your foundation did a pretty good job and you just want to like highlight maybe, the Maybelline Ivory one is super good. The one with the sponge at the top and like the twist. I did buy this one for Maybelline, the Super Stay, but I don't really like this. This is actually really good for purely, not concealing, but you know, if you ever watch cbeauty content, they'll use like highlighters, like really, really pale concealer looking things. This is good for that because the formula is super thin, and I actually got like this really fucking light ass color, which is a little bit too light for me as a concealer, but as a highlighter, like a matte highlighter, it's perfect. It's just the thing is, it blends out into like, it's super sheer. So if you need a highlighting product, I think that would be good. So I'm gonna use the TIRTIR concealer because it has two of my favorite things, cream concealer and liquid concealer. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna use the cream one on my dark circle here. A lot of people tend to use the liquid one for under the eye, but I don't know, I'm more of like I feel like the cream covers these dark bits a bit better. And with the lipstick shape, it's easy to just get in there. Also the outer corner of the eye here. It just hugs right in there. This particular cream concealer is also not like super full coverage, but it's so good at filling in pores. You just have to make sure your skin is well hydrated, because if your skin is dehydrated like mine, you do get the risk of it looking dry at the end of the day. Okay, there is the base makeup done. Now for powder, I was gonna use this until e.l.f. decided to fuck up. So I'm just gonna use it because I have it already. I've had this for over a year at this point. I need to use it up. But this is the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder, and it's just a really good pressed powder. I think it's really blurring. Oh, I don't know why I keep zooming out. If you want to buy from another brand, one that I really like, but it's a loose powder, is actually the Maybelline Fit Me powder. It's so good. I actually find that one very comparable to a lot of powders you'd find in even Sephora, so I really like that one. But other than that, I don't really have much experience with many other drugstore powders in the US. So I'm just using this one because it is very blurring. It's supposed to be like a finishing powder, which, you know, is technically different from setting powder, but girl, I still fucking use this as setting powder. You know what song stuck in my head, but I wish wasn't? Is that new Espresso song? I am a rich man, la la, la la la. Girl, that run of like Supernova, Armageddon, and then Whiplash was like fucking legendary. So I don't know, this like dirty work and like rich man, like I don't know, it's not for me, girl. It is not for me. Did I just miss a spot with my foundation? Yeah, I fucking did. Oh my God, I'm a dumb fucking bitch. I should not have done that yet. So for contour, honestly, contour in the drugstore is a fucking abysmal, girl. I was really walking around that Ulta trying to look for shit. There's nothing. So to be honest, if this wasn't fucking only online and limited edition, I would 100% recommend this NYX contour palette. I really fucking hope NYX makes this permanent, because this is one of the few drugstore contour shits that I think is really good. It's from their Wednesday limited edition collection, but they have a good range of contour colors, and they have a highlight in there, a matte highlighter. So I would suggest this one if you're looking for contour, but nothing. The next closest thing would be NYX's, they have like the duo Wonder Stick things. It's like the dual contour sticks, and they have a good range of colors. So I would suggest that, but they do seem a little bit too yellow or orange for my personal taste for contour. So if you are warm tone, as in you have very grayish skin, those would look really good because those warm tones will help brighten up some of the grayish in your skin. But if your skin tone is more on the cool side, as in you have more yellow or you have more redness in your skin or you're pale, all that shit is gonna look orange on you. Sorry, girl. Or this is not drugstore pricing, but they do have it at Ulta, the Fenty matchsticks. These are really good, of course. I actually like using these with a brush rather than directly. They're much easier to control with a brush. But they do have a good range of colors. Of course, it's Fenty. So it's not drugstore pricing, but that's a good contour thing if you're looking for contour. But I did find something else that is within drugstore price. It's very affordable, but it's only for really fair and pale to maybe maximum my skin tone, like light medium, maybe medium. I found these via Reddit, but these two, I get the feeling they're from like a Chinese brand probably. That's just, you know, they have a page on Amazon. But there's two. There's a cream one and a liquid one. This is the liquid one, which I think a lot of you pale girls will really like. I forgot the name of this brand, but I'll put a screenshot on the screen here. But I was like, girl, you are never gonna fucking find these colors on fucking the drugstore, at Ulta. Do you see these? These are straight up fucking gray, bitch. Look at that. Is that not giving cbeauty? And they're like, what, $8? Girl, hop on it. Hop on it. But yeah, this is why I'm saying I probably shouldn't have done my powder yet. I would do this first and then powder. But yeah, this is the color I would use. This is more taupey brown gray, but if you have very pale skin, especially if you have a lot of redness, there's the pale skin that has more brown yellow tones in their skin. If you have more redness in your skin, this is gonna be really good for contour. But then I also have two cream options. Be careful with these because they melt so easy. They fucking got fucked up in the package. But this is one color. Kind of similar to this one, just not as opaque, I think. Probably the formulation that makes it look different on camera. Then there's this one, which is a little bit more warm. So if you are pale or light, but you feel like gray looks too gray on you, that might be a better choice. There's these options I've found on Amazon. Thanks to the person on Reddit. I'm gonna use this taupey liquid one. This shit deposits so much fucking product, so I have to use a brush with it because it's so hard to control otherwise. Also, since I did fucking put powder already. Yeah, that shit is powerful, girl. So I put some on the side right here of the nose. More so here, I went all the way up, but you can really just do here. If you have a more like triangle shaped nose, like it's wider at the front, you can just put some at the front here. And then I put some in my eye socket here. So it all kind of goes in there. Girl, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. There is one benefit to having powdered your skin first before you do things like concealing or contouring with cream products. Like let's say you have blemishes maybe, so you're using a cream concealer, or you want to contour, but you're using like a cream contour stick, but you find that things just tend to slip and slide around. If you put powder first, it helps those cream, or and even liquid sometimes, stick better. So let's say, especially if you have a raised blemish, but you keep trying to put concealer on it, but that shit does not want to cover, it keeps wiping off, then put a little powder first and then do your concealer, and it sticks so much better. And then I'm spreading a little bit more on the back of my hand. And I'm using this brush, which I also highly recommend. This Morphe brush, the M204. I love this for blending out my cream blush that I always be doing, but for contour, this could work out really well too. I'm only doing this under my jawline, which I need because, girl, I have no fucking jaw, as y'all often see. If I start taking this really grayish tone up, it can look almost like a beard right here. So I'm really just keeping it purely on where the shadow area should be. I'm just gonna take a little bit of whatever's left on my hand and put some here. And here. Now we know an important part about cbeauty makeup, Torriden makeup, is brightening. And I actually found this essence Brighten Up. It says banana powder, but it's actually not that yellow, to be honest. But I found it actually decent for brightening. Again, if you get this NYX one, there is a brightening powder in there, but if we're talking about drugstore and stuff, you can find any powder foundation that's really light and use that as well. Or even eyeshadow. But I'm gonna use this one. It was literally like, what, like $5, I think? I'm actually also gonna put a little bit on my lids for a base later for my eyeshadow. I love putting brightening powder right here. Because, girl, as I'm getting older, what do they call, like the puppet lines? Actually, no, the puppet lines is here. These smile lines are just getting bad, girl. It's getting bad. Oof. Oh, something I forgot to say for contour if, again, you have more gray in your skin, you have very dull skin tone, more so than contour, I would suggest bronzer. I really like the NYX ones. This is a really pale shade, so I don't have the darker colors. I think more so than contour, you can totally get away with adding shape to your face with just a bronzer. Bronzer tends to look really muddy and orange on cool tones, so if you're actually warm tone, you can totally even, I know there's a rule of like, oh, bronzer should not be for contour, but if you're actually warm tone and you have a lot of gray in your skin, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Oh shit, let me put some lip balm on. I'm using this Torriden one, which I bought a while ago because, you know, hype on the internet, but I never actually use it that much. Forgot how good it is. The reason the reason I even remembered that I had this is because I was scrolling through Instagram. And you know that, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's that sometimes when you're scrolling in between two posts, there'll be like, you know, suggested accounts. And sometimes it will show accounts that are following you, so it says follow back. And there was one account from Attila Fong. If you've been on K-pop TikTok or watched Project 7, you will know Attila Fong. Apparently he was following me. So I've seen that diva up on TikTok and I was like, period. So I followed. Because I remember he had a clip of him. Someone was like, oh, what do you have on your lips? Because he has really nice lips. He's like, I don't use Lipton, I use this. And I was like, oh shit, I have that too. So forgot how good it is. It's still not as sticky as I would like. It's more on the thin essence side, but it still has some kind of chonjon-niness to it. You see, it's not just a thin fucking little lip oil. So I like this one, especially because lately I have not been drinking my water. Girl, this is my water. I've been biting the hell out of my lips, so they're really fucked up right now. Next time Attila Fong is up in Korea, oh honey, it's gonna be a fucking game over. Let's do eyebrows. Now, I did recently see that, I think it was L'Oreal maybe? They came out with a very cbeauty vibes type of like two-pronged eyebrow pen, which I would have bought if it had already come out before I left Texas, but it was too late. But I did find these NYX brow pencils, and to be honest, this whole micro brow pencil thing is not a new thing in the West. What I like about this one is, besides being micro, you see that right there? Do you see that right there? That was giving me cbeauty vibes. This like flat part of the plastic that it comes out of, and you can use that to kind of twist out a little and then rub it against your hand a little bit to almost sharpen, you can get, because you know, I love those Chinese pencils because you can get a really sharp line. Well, you can do that with this. The main difference I would say between this and some of the pencils I'd be using from China are that this is still a bit soft. So if you went ahead and used the little spoolie side to blend it out, it would just blend it out into nothing. So I don't blend it out. I just like softly draw it in. It's still not as sharp as I would like it, again, because it's a softer pencil. But if you're just trying to practice that sort of style of brow they often be doing on Xiaohongshu, this is actually not too bad. Oh, you know, actually, at the time I was buying a lot of this stuff, my mom and my sister were looking for some brow mascaras. And you guys know, as an Asian beauty enthusiast, I have like a very high standard when it comes to brow mascaras. But the Morphe ones were actually not too bad. They colored really well, like the eyebrow hairs. The only difference is that those are very like volumizing, so they add a lot of bulk to your eyebrows, which with Asian brow mascaras, they're really just to color your brow and yeah, kind of like hold your brow shape. With the Morphe ones, if you don't mind a little bit of bulk, adding bulk to your eyebrows, those are really good in terms of like brow mascara. Otherwise, I would totally just buy like the Roman. Roman makes really good brow mascaras, which I feel like not enough people talk about, but anyway. Okay, what should we do next? Eyeshadow. Now, I was stressing the fuck out about eyeshadow to show you guys, but I'm gonna do my best to keep it fucking simple. I feel like I'm shilling Morphe. I'm trying to get another PR list. I'm trying to get the PR list. Just kidding. I bought all this myself, but when I saw these palettes from the drug, like at Ulta, I was like, I immediately thought, that's giving Xiaohongshu cbeauty. It's giving cbeauty, girl. But these new 6-pan palettes, girl, does that not give cbeauty vibes to you? Yeah. This is the Cyber Chrome palette, and they're like 15 bucks. 15 bucks, period. This one is Rich Glitch, which is, oh, beautiful. The ones I'm gonna show you now are for cool tones. I'd suggest, if you're a cool tone, these are the ones I suggest. I don't know if this is still available. I did buy this at Ulta, but like 2 years ago. But this is the ColourPop of Quartz palette. Very nice, neutral leaning cool palette. Now, if you're neutral leaning warm, then this palette, the Deja Brew palette, is really fucking nice. Those brown tones, but They have more either pink or more green in them. So they're good for all of skin tones. And then the mother of all, honestly, I always suggest this one motherfucking palette, the Stone Cold Fox palette from ColourPop. Like, you are not gonna find these colors in any other fucking drugstore brand, I feel like. The warmest one would be maybe this one, and even then, if a cool tone wanted to get a little bit more of like a warm tone vibe, that would be really nice. Now, honestly, for the warm tone girlies, I find it really strange though, that I always be talking about how like, everything in the drugstore in the West is always so fucking warm tone, but I mean, maybe it's probably because I don't have that much. It's probably because I don't collect warm tone makeup from the drugstore. Yeah, when I go to America, I don't buy warm tone makeup, so that's why I don't have much to show you here. But the two that I do have, one, again, is from Morphe. It's from again, that palette. But the Outer Spice palette is so, it's a warm tone, but again, it has that pink undertone that I really fucking love. The other one is not drugstore pricing, but it is available in Ulta, which is why I'm showing it. But these tones are so fucking pretty, y'all. From Miss Ariana Grande. Yeah, REM Beauty, their Baby Doll palette. Oh my God, a collection again. Minus like maybe this one. All a bunch of really nice pinky browns. Still warm, but it has a drop of pink, so they're not so garishly warm. So even I will use this. Now, when these came out, the reviews were not good because they were saying like, oh, it's not pigmented. It's really not that pigmented, which is funny because Morphe made these. I made all of REM, basically. What I like about these is that they're very smooth. So you're not gonna get a huge ton of pigment. You would have to really prep your eye for that, but they're really smooth and great for beginners. So they blend really nice and easily. So you can't really build up too many of these colors without all looking like one muddy mess. So I would use like maybe 2 colors and you get a really nice, warm, pretty wash of color in the eyes, and that's it. But I just love the tones of these shades. So and it comes with a brightening shade as well, so that's really nice. But anyway, we're gonna go into the Cyber Chrome palette because this is giving me the most. I got so many. Even Flower Nose, I feel like makes colors like this often, so I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this shade here first. Underneath as well, on my Aegis-High. And then I'm gonna use the deeper gray in here. If your eyes are more wider apart, like you have a lot of space in the middle, adding that sort of darker color in the middle, like right here, is really pretty. My eyes are quite close together, so I wouldn't do that on myself. I'm just recently realizing that doesn't look that good on me. Sorry, I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna use a different eyeshadow, sorry. Libusen, I think it's called. I saw this on Pony's channel, so. Oh, that really makes it, y'all, that really makes it. And then I'm going to line my eyes with that really deep matte stone gray, and you do not find colors like that, I feel like, in the drugstore often. So hop on it, y'all, hop on it. 괜찮은데? These shimmers are so fucking good, y'all. Oh! Oh! That is good, yes. In the West, I do feel like a lot of there's no glittery things. Everything is like a heavy pigmented shimmer, which is I'm not a big fan of. I do like the more transparent base with the shimmering glitter, but this is very much giving that vibe. You don't even have to put it on this thick. If you just lightly tap your finger and just, you can get that really nice sparkle. And then this shade, that, oh my God, that is fucking gorgeous. I am sitting in front of the window and I have 3 lights on me, so it might be a little bit washed out. Let's use this one here. Oh God. Yeah. So that when you're turning, when you turn your head, you get that little bit of that flash of lavender. Yeah. The silver is a lot more glittery. I'm gonna use it on a tiny little brush and just a little bit. I'm gonna cheat again and use a little bit of a concealer pencil. Actually, I think NYX makes concealer pencils. They're a little bit thick, to be honest, but if you're careful with it, you can get a sharp line, then you can use it to do this Aegis-High thing. But you guys know the Peach Corrector I always use from the Sam, they have a pencil version of it, and I'm gonna use that for slightly brightening my Aegis-High. When I'm doing looks like this that are more on the smoky, darker side, I have to brighten the Aegis-High because it can look really dark and like chik-chik-he. But you see how that makes it look a lot more balanced? You can also do this if you just have regular concealer. You just have to use a really thin brush. I'm sure there's a lot of options now for falsies in the drugstore that give that sort of like Douyin sort of vibe, often under the moniker of manga lashes, anime lashes. If you're doing your own makeup, you can do your lashes now, but I'm just gonna do mascara. But even then, I'm just gonna use a light layer. Now, you guys know I only ever use that ALU mascara because it's my style of mascara. But the one US drugstore mascara that I found that is giving me the vibe of Asian mascara is this Maybelline one. There's many versions of this, I feel like, but this one in the pink packaging. Although the applicator is not exactly my favorite, the effect that it has is much more similar to Asian mascaras than some of the other US drugstore stuff I've used before. Like, it doesn't clump up your lashes, which is what I'm always looking for. And it's also a little bit on the wet side, so you kind of gotta be careful. Just brush it through with the spoolie. I don't know, I really like it. Amongst all the other mascaras I've been using, of course, I'm not really a mascara person, so take my word with a grain of salt. But yeah, if you do find Asian mascaras a little bit of a bitch to remove and you find them so hard to take off, you might like that one because it's a little bit more on the softer side, you know what I mean? Now, with blushes, honestly, Flea is in Ulta now, so you can hit that up if you want. But I was really trying super hard to look for a blush that I really wanted to show you. I do like these NYX ones, the buttermilk blushes, like this one, Butter Than Before. So fucking pretty for the butter. Oh, back in butter, gorgeous brick shade. But do you see all these colors? These are the most fucking pigmented things I've ever fucking used in my life. So very hard to control the amount you put on. One thing you can do, which I have to do if I'm gonna use this, is use a translucent powder, like the one I used earlier. Dip your brush in there first and then dip into the powder, and it helps calm it down a bit. It makes it less pigmented, so it's not so crazy, and it's a little bit easier to blend. But I did find this Essence one that was, it was like $3 or something. Essence The Blush. It's a little bit more, for this particular look, it does look a little bit warm toned for my liking. You know what, let's also use a drugstore brush. So you can get this one, the setting brush from Real Techniques. It's like my favorite thing ever. It's originally meant for like setting with powder under your eyes, but it's such a good shape for a multitude of things, and I also love it for cream and liquid blush. So in general, if you're in the drugstore already looking for shit to buy, get this brush. It's the 402 brush. Let's put it here. Oh, that blends so nicely. Oh, actually, you know what? With a really cool tone eye, like this is really cool toned, I don't mind a slightly warmer blush. Like if this was more peachy, it would have been better, but it's okay. That's really nice. I want to see what happens if I try to add a touch of these on top. Yes, it just adds just a touch of pink, because it's looking a little bit too brick tone for me. Yes, yes. And speaking of the girl, I be chilling. Girl, Morphe and NYX have been the stars of this video so far. When I saw this, girl, my pussy was on fucking fire. I was like, gagged, bitch. These NYX Buttermelt highlighters are fucking iconic, bitch. I also bought two other colors. There's like a purple one and this mint green one. Bruh, so fucking pretty, even for the eyes. But this one, Bright and Butter. Girl, these names are crazy. Oh. To be honest, you could, that purple shimmer from the eyeshadow palette I use, I could totally use that as highlight as well. I don't want to put it on my cheeks because with this type of look, I like it when the skin here is just matte. I notice on this look, if I try to do a highlight, it just doesn't look right. What happens is the highlight becomes too blinding. And so it almost looks like I have no makeup there almost in some lights. So for this look, I'm just gonna keep the skin matte and just have the highlight just on my nose here. And then last but not motherfucking least, we're gonna do the lips. Now, again, Flea is now in the drugs in Ulta, so you can totally look there for a variety of colors. But when I saw this, I was like, that is giving kbeauty. And lo and behold, I believe these are actually made in Korea. Clean, fresh, yummy blur. Stick things, girl, I don't fucking know. They're these matte balm type lipsticks. Girl, is that not giving kbeauty? Honey, that's the shade Into the Blur. This one is the shade Blur the Lines. It's a pretty peach color. And then this one, Perfectly Blurry, which is, I think, from the 3 that I bought, is my favorite. So pretty. Actually, first what I'm gonna do before that is actually go back to the blush that I had. Also, this blush, I was looking through Maybelline, of course, and I saw this blush and I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking pretty. That color's perfect. The only reason I didn't mention it is because it is one of the most unpigmented fucking blushes I've ever used in my life. Like, it's fucking hard to get shit from this. So this is the shade Plum. You would think this would have been perfect, girl, but there's nothing comes off of this, so I don't know what to do. Actually, you know what? Let me try it for this, what I'm about to do. Let me use it for actually my lip line. I tried to find a good lip liner, but all the lip liners in the States, like in Ulta / the drugstore, they don't have any colors that I like, that were kind of like giving me that kbeauty, cbeauty fantasy. A lot of them are very deep in color or too light in color for my skin tone. So I'm gonna take this super fucking unpigmented blush. Like, do you fucking, this is an eyeshadow brush, bitch. Look at that. Nothing. And it's not one of those things where it's like hard pan, where you just take it off with a, tape or with a tissue. Girl, like nothing is straight up coming off. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna use this to try to blur out my lip line. And then to kind of even out my lip tone, I'm gonna use the CoverGirl thing. It smells so good. It smells like a bar of soap. It smells like a bar of cucumber soap. Now I will say, it's blurring, but if you have dry, wrinkly lips like me right now with my fucked up, ripped up lips, it's gonna look very apparent. But if you have really smooth lips naturally, girl, it's gonna give you those really blurred out, filter looking lips. And that is really pretty by itself, but I do wanna add a little bit of a gloss. Now, I've got a few things that I wanna show you. One of my favorite glosses from the drugstore is actually the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. Really beautiful, nice, hydrating formula that actually lasts pretty long. It doesn't do that thing where it absorbs into your lips and like looks dry. There's of course the Fui glosses, which it's very similar to this in a way, where it kind of just sits nicely on top of the lips for a long period of time until maybe you bite it off or you eat. But it is on the pricier side, like it's not giving drugstore pricing, honestly. One thing that I really fucking love from the drugstore, which unfortunately is from e.l.f. Again, I have a lot of trouble finding things that are good for deep winters and deep autumns that aren't pooling super, super red and pigmented. This is a very muted black cherry shade. And even for me, as a soft summer, I'm obsessed with this. This is the shade Blackberry Sorbet. Do you see this? It looks really like, girl, that's so fucking dark, but this on top of, because it's a sheer balm, right? When you put it on top of lips, especially mine that are kind of reddish, it really tones down that red and you get that deep, sultry color, but it's not like overly dark because again, it's sheer, and it's also not overly red because of that really deep muted undertone. So if you are okay with buying from e.l.f., then I highly suggest that one, but I'm gonna use, I guess just the, this is not drugstore, it's from Ulta, but it's not drugstore price, I think. Is REM Beauty? REM Beauty is not too expensive, I think. But their gloss, this one, just their clear ass lip gloss, one of my fucking favorite. One of my fucking favorite. It's so fucking good. But anyway, let me use the Maybelline one. They also have a lot of really good colors for the lifter gloss. So I already have a lip color in here, so I'm not gonna use the applicator because the applicator is one of those like doe foot applicators and it's kind of hard. So if you try to do that on top of this, where you already have a lip color, then it's gonna kind of scratch up some of that color. Oh, wow. Made my lips look so fucking plump. I don't have the smallest lips, but because they're so round, I can make them look really plump, but also I don't think it suits my face shape if I do. Girl, do you guys remember a long ass motherfucking time ago when I filmed a video with Big Marvel? I was on his channel and we went to like a cat cafe or something. It was at the time when bigger lips were becoming popular in Korea, and so I was trying the whole overlip thing. Girl, I don't know what the fuck I was doing because my lips look too much. But it was summer, so I wasn't wearing a lot of other makeup. So it was just my basically bare face and like big ass motherfucking lips. Girl, that's crazy, bitch. But for me, I need to kind of take in these parts right here, so it doesn't look too much. When this part of the lips start looking too plump, that's where it can look a little bit unnatural, I guess. We just take that in, it looks a little bit more wearable. Okay. All right, well, there is my kind of K/cbeauty inspired look using everything from the drugstore or Amazon or Ulta, mostly Ulta. Not to say that you have to use all this shit that I use, but it's to show you that you can get this sort of look using, you know, stuff that isn't necessarily from, you have to fucking order on YesStyle or Hemiko, right? Which, you know, honestly, a lot of, because Asian beauty is becoming so popular these days, which as a OG baddie from back in the day, always pushing Asian beauty, it's heartwarming. It's heartwarming. So it's gonna be a lot easier to get access to the Asian beauty stuff these days, but anyway, I hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in, I had to turn my AC off because there's a problem with my AC where the tubing is fucked up and so the water comes out of the fucking air conditioner, so I've been having to drain it through this tube that goes out the way. Girl, it's fucking crazy. So I had to turn the AC off, so now, girl, I'm fucking sweaty, bitch. Anyway, bye.